Welcome back to Kleppers Corner. Today in the news, the only show where the global headlines sound like rejected plot lines from a political satire writer's room. It's August 25th, 2025, and boy, oh boy, the world has once again delivered. Gaza is in flames. Ukraine's peace talks have the shelf life of a gas station sandwich. The Pentagon is playing musical chairs with its generals. John Bolton's mustache is under FBI surveillance, and Jerome Powell is trying to do yoga while China floods the economy with knockoff yoga mats. Strap in, people. Today's news is less informative and more, are we seriously doing this? Segment 1, the Russia-Ukraine war, Trump's 2-week peace process. Ukraine 3 years into Russia's invasion, Trump says he'll know which way he's going on peace in, wait for it, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. That's the geopolitical equivalent of we'll see. That's the thing your parents told you about Disney World right before they drove you to the dentist. Zelensky, bless him, keeps pushing for direct talks with Putin, which is like begging your burglar to stay for brunch. You stole my silverware. Could you also pass the mimosas? And Putin, shockingly, isn't biting. Instead, Russia keeps stalling while their army chews through territory like a bear at a picnic. Meanwhile, the Pentagon has slapped on a policy. Ukraine can't use U.S. missiles to hit inside Russia. That's like giving someone boxing gloves and saying, okay, fight Mike Tyson, but only slap box and say please every time. Europe is trying to step up. Canada even floated the idea of sending troops, which is adorable. Imagine Canadian peacekeepers in Donetsk. Sorry, comrade, you'll have to put down the rocket launcher, eh? And while all this diplomacy flails, Russia launched 1,000 drones at Ukraine. Ukraine lit up oil depots in Russia, and a Ukrainian sea drone literally exploded after being seized by divers, killing 5. This is no longer war, it's Jackass 5 Black Sea edition. Segment 2, Gaza hospital strike, when journalism becomes a target. In Gaza, Israel bombed Nasser Hospital. Nearly 20 people killed, including 4 journalists. A hospital is supposed to be safe, but apparently in 2025, it's just another square on the Target-acquired bingo card. And journalists being killed, that takes it from tragic to, oh cool, let's also silence the people documenting the tragedy. Witnesses say it was a double-tap strike, one missile, then another, hitting first responders. That's not military strategy, that's the villain playbook from Die Hard 6. Bruce Willis can't even. The Israeli military says it doesn't target journalists. Right, and Taco Bell doesn't cause diarrhea, it's just regrettable overlap. But the fallout, huge. France is furious. Macron summoned Trump's ambassador, Charles Kushner. Yes, that Charles Kushner, the guy who once did time for tax fraud and witness tampering. Now he's lecturing France about anti-Semitism in the Wall Street Journal. That's like OJ writing an op-ed on knife safety. France says, no, monsieur, stay out of our politics. The U.S. State Department doubles down, saying, actually, yes, he speaks for us. Boom. Transatlantic meltdown. The Western alliance is now basically a bad marriage. America just accused France of anti-Semitism at Thanksgiving dinner, and France is packing its suitcase with the wine bottles. Segment 3, Pentagon purges and Bolton raids. Facts are fireable. Back in D.C., Trump's Pentagon is on purge mode. 3 senior officers fired because apparently their intelligence didn't match Trump's truthiness. One of them, Lieutenant General Cruz, ran the Defense Intelligence Agency. His crime? Saying U.S. strikes only delayed Iran's nukes by a few months. Trump had said obliterated forever. Well, sorry, sir, the nukes didn't get the memo. It's official. Intelligence is no longer about facts. It's about vibes. The generals have to walk into Trump's office like contestants on America's Got Talent. Tonight, I'll be performing the analysis that says Iran is toast. Then there's John Bolton, the man whose mustache has more hawkish foreign policy experience than half the Senate. FBI raided his home over classified documents, which, sure, totally about documents, not at all about Bolton calling Trump's Putin summit a love letter wrapped in surrender. Trump calls Bolton a lowlife. Bolton calls Trump an idiot. Honestly, the real tragedy here is that nobody's putting this on pay-per-view. And the Epstein files. DOJ gave Congress 33,000 pages, 97% recycled material. That's not disclosure, that's goodwill for paperwork. The only new thing, flight logs. So basically, Epstein flew planes, big scoop. Somewhere, conspiracy theorists are clutching their cork boards like that's it. Where's the Illuminati receipts? Segment 4, immigration detention. Numbers don't lie, but they do cry. Immigration detention is at record highs, nearly 60,000 people in custody, up 50% since Trump got back in office, 70% with no criminal convictions, which means the U.S. detention system is now basically a Motel 6. Except instead of, we'll leave the light on for you, it's, we'll leave the fluorescent flickering overhead for the next 6 months. The overcrowding is so bad, even Spirit Airlines looked at it and said too cramped. Conditions, horrible. Due process, dwindling. Executive power, expanding. The Statue of Liberty should change her sign to, give me you're tired, you're poor, then get ready for indefinite detention and a paperwork nightmare. Segment 5, the economy. Powell versus tariffs versus Chinese dumping. And finally, the economy. Jerome Powell might cut rates because the job market's looking fragile. In July, only 73,000 jobs were added. That's like showing up to a potluck with half a bag of Doritos. But inflation's still around 3%, so Powell's stuck in the worst improv scene ever. Yes, inflation is bad, but also unemployment's worse, and also Trump just added tariffs. Meanwhile, China's economy is collapsing into deflation. Factories keep cranking out goods no one wants, so they dump them globally at fire sale prices. It's like China is hosting the world's biggest going out of business sale. Except they're not going out of business, they're just flooding your Amazon cart with $2 microwaves. Here's the paradox. Cheap imports help U.S. inflation, but kill U.S. jobs. Tariffs save jobs, but fuel inflation. It's economic Jenga, and Trump's playing it drunk. Powell is sweating bullets while Trump's yelling, 50% tariffs, folks. Biggest, best tariffs. The economy isn't just fragile, it's a piñata, and everyone's swinging blindfolded. All right, in conclusion, so that's today in the news. Ukraine stuck in Trump's 2-week microwave of peace. Gaza turning hospitals into international scandals. France and America bickering like a divorced couple over custody of NATO. Pentagon generals getting axed for being too factual. Bolton raided like he's hiding state secrets in his mustache wax. Detention centers bursting at the seams. And Jerome Powell trying to do math while Trump sets the calculator on fire. It's absurd. It's exhausting. It's America 2025. And the only way to survive is to laugh, stock up on ramen, and wait for Trump's next promise of 2 weeks. Spoiler, it's always 2 weeks.